I'm going to use a tip number 104 to make a simple zigzag ruffle. This is the same tip you would use to pipe petals or a rose. Notice that when I'm doing the zigzag ruffle, I have the narrow end of the tip pointed downwards, which is opposite as to how you would use the tip if you were piping flowers with it. This is a fun technique to play with because you can vary the appearance of your zigzag ruffle depending on how tight the zigzag motion is. You can also use the tip number 104 to pipe a bow. With this technique, you just pipe a simple figure 8 with the narrow end of the tip pointing upwards. The other zigzag ruffle technique on this practice board sheet uses a tip number 86. That's the tip that's sort of a half star tip and a half petal tip. You want to have the star tip part pointing towards the top. I'll show you the techniques again from different angles. Just remember that when you're piping zigzags, you want to maintain steady pressure control and try to keep the zigzags the same height throughout so that they look even. And again, in order to pipe the bow, you want to have the narrow end of the tip pointing upwards, and then you're going to pipe a simple sideways figure 8, and then you can come down from the center of the bow to make the ribbons. Don't be discouraged if it takes you a couple of tries to figure out how to pipe the bow. Just remember to maintain steady pressure control while you're doing the figure 8 motion. And then when you go to pipe the zigzag ruffles, just remember that you want to have the narrow end of the tip pointing down. That's what makes the thinner edge down at the bottom to make it look like a ruffle. And when you're doing the zigzag motion, make sure you maintain steady pressure control and keep your wrist straight so that you're moving your whole arm when you're piping the zigzags. This will help you maintain steady pressure. And again, the appearance of your ruffle is going to depend on how tall of a zigzag you make and how close together the zigzags are. So if you want a really tight ruffle, like this one here, you want to have the zigzags be really, really close together. That's going to give you a tight, short ruffle. You could also do a looser, longer ruffle. It just all depends on how tall and how close together the zigzag motion is.